All right, team. Good morning, everyone. Welcome aboard to the Morning Note. My name is Carlos Garcia. I am the founder and CEO of GAR Capital. This is the GAR Capital YouTube channel and the GAR Capital Instagram page. We are live. Thank you for joining in. Finally, we have our blue verification check. Thank you, Mark Zuckerberg, for actually opening that up to businesses again. We've had a lot of issues with spam accounts trying to beat us. But now we have the blue check mark. So now you know who really is Gar Capital. 10 years serving this community. We love to do it. Glad to have you here. Let's go ahead and get started. You can type your questions anytime you like, and I will get to them as soon as I can. It is Thursday, November 21, 2024. Let's go ahead and get started. Dow futures are up 161 points. The Nasdaq's up 0.49% this morning. Nice bounce. That's due to King NVDA pushing higher. If you guys remember the weekly video, we talked about Walmart being pushing higher with earnings, Target going lower with their earnings, and NVIDIA going higher post their earnings. So far, looking pretty good on that. S&P 500 futures up 0.43%. The Russell's up 0.66% this morning. So again, nice push, getting that bounce all around. Good stuff. It's been rather choppy lately, kind of pulling your hair out, watching the tape. And again, guys, next week is a holiday week, so it's probably going to be even slower. 10-year Treasury yields 4.396. Dollar index 106.59. So still kind of hovering around 106.50. I've been kind of waiting for that to break down, and it just hasn't. The markets really don't care at the moment in regards to the dollar. I just imagine where stocks are going to be when the dollar actually does fall. Fun. 1622 on the VIX, down 5.48%. Got close to 20, but haven't gotten there yet. I did see some calls out there. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of the 50-cent trader. It's someone who trades VIX very, very quietly, randomly, actually, like starts buying 40 calls or the 50 calls, and it's sporadically. Kind of looking back at it, does he get it right every time? Every time I've checked, he's gotten it right. Something crazy has happened. January, the 50 calls apparently is what he bought. Again, that's what I read on Twitter. That could be meaning anything, but just thought you guys would like to know. Crude oil is up 2% this morning, 70.12 a barrel. Gold futures are up 0.69%, 26.69. I still like gold for a bounce. We talked about that on the weekly video as well. Silver futures 31.15, up 0.52%. Copper down 0.55% this morning. And the one that everyone wants to talk about, come on now, Bitcoin. We're almost there, 100K. Well, just about there. Here's the issue, at least to me. I think we might just tag 100K and then actually just pull back. God knows how many sell orders are there. We got to 98,860 on the future side. Crypto's in its own galaxy in that sense, where you're just kind of like beholden to the moves since it's 24/7. That much you can really do in terms of price action analysis, unless you're planning to stay up 24 hours. Fair enough. Ethereum got really close to 3,000. Did it fill that gap? It did not fill that 1 hour gap on the future side, and it did not fill the gap on the daily either, but it bounced perfectly right off the 200-day though. That's a really good sign for Ethereum. So for anyone who's looking to buy Ethereum, probably now's the time because you're about to break out. That retest of that 200 and holding it is a very good sign that the bulls are in control. So Ethereum looking great here at 33.74. Kind of wish we got below 3,000. Can't be too greedy, right? Let's see if we had any quick questions. NVIDIA up to 150. Yeah, that was my call for the week, that we're going to get to 150 and possibly break above it. NVIDIA had great earnings, by the way. There was talk about the whisper number, meaning higher expectations. They made like $31 billion this quarter. Like, that's ridiculous. I mean, guys, the only issue with NVIDIA is that they can't produce enough chips. Like, they have backlogs for orders for years. And even their actual products can be traded as commodities and are actually considered assets. So NVIDIA at this point is almost printing their own money. The only other company I can think of it that actually kind of has that pricing power is really Apple. Apple can really do anything they want. I mean, they can make any kind of project they want. They have tons of cash. They have the brand awareness, and they're kind of known for quality. So even something like the virtual headset, which may not have taken off as much as they would want, it was still a niche product. And I'm pretty sure within 4 years, they'll get another crack at it in terms of doing another virtual reality type headset, maybe something not as bulky. But yeah, there's one thing about Apple. They're never first at anything, but they perfect. That's kind of their deal. So in regards to NVIDIA, I mean, like I said, printing money at this point. Their gross margins are 73%. You're talking about a year-over-year revenue growth of 97%. This is nearly a $3 trillion company. This isn't a lemonade stand. Nvidia is absolutely ridiculous. This is a great company. We've talked about this for years. So if you own it, you don't need to do anything. You're loving life. In terms of buying, once we break above 150, mind you, that's going to be all-time highs. I do definitely believe Nvidia is going to go higher. Unless you catch it right at 150, let's say you just spark up to 155, wait till it pulls back and retest the breakout. Always. So once you get a breakout on a trade or something, and you're looking for a decent entry, just look at the check back of the previous breakout. If bulls hold there, like the way they did with Ethereum at the 200-day moving average, we just talked about that. That's a really, really good sign for like price discipline in terms of creating a price floor. And that's kind of what we want. We want to get as close to that price floor as possible because that's going to maximize our value as we move higher. Simple supply and demand. Let's see. Here we go. I thought holiday week run was wild for stocks. No, it runs up into it, correct. The only issue is the day before Thanksgiving tends to be weaker since the volumes really dry up right around that noon time. And then the Friday after, which is Black Friday, it's only half day. You only have the market open till 1. The bond market, I believe, is closed even earlier. So I think that's what what the context meant in terms of seasonal patterns is that the slowing period, the day before Thanksgiving and the day after Thanksgiving. Hope that makes sense. Let's see. Live, laugh, love. Anel, how are you? This year, what are your thoughts on market impact with this year's Santa Rally and inauguration? I think the Santa Rally is definitely going to happen. I don't think there's nothing out there that would suggest otherwise. Uh, we just got unemployment claims lowest since May. People are working, people out shopping. Did we see the retail numbers? Granted, Target is a whole different ballgame. I talked about that on Discord on our video on the radio. Again, to me, I see Target as more of a niche company. In terms of major retail, Amazon's about to really start cooking, especially with that Temu alternative. I think it's called Rack or something. I'm not sure. Where they sell kind of cheaply made products. I can't really say like dollar store, but let's just say you get more value for your buck. Amazon is increasing their retail footprint. To me, Target kind of feels a little bit like where Sears was back in the day. But in terms of retail sales for Americans, people are out doing stuff. People are out buying stuff. So I fully expect retail sales to continue to go higher as long as people are employed. Inflation is ticking down. It's kind of almost at a Goldilocks period. Still a little more inflation, especially in the housing market, unless we increase major supply, which I don't know if we will. Granted, the presidential election just happened. Inauguration day is in January. What I believe will happen is that we'll get a run up into January with higher expectations in terms of regulation being cut, in terms of taxes being cut, maybe government agencies being removed. Understand, guys, any kind of government entity, whether it be department of whatever, there's people working there. Those are jobs. If those people lose their jobs, well, then what? Yeah, inflation will go down, true, but retail sales will go down as well. Consumption will go down. So, you know, nothing comes without consequence for sure. But again, nothing has been really even been done. There's hasn't been a session of Congress where everyone's in doing the legislative process. Again, President Trump, former President Trump, now President-elect Trump, has not even been inaugurated. So until we actually see paper and pen legislation done, I think we just get the run up into that on good vibes, and then we kind of sell back in January. I think we're going to get some profit taking into that inauguration into February. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. I believe 2025 will be strong as well. Very similar to 2017, Trump's first year in office, and 2021, Biden's first year in office. That new administration, good vibes, tends to do well after an election. It's just what happens. Let's see anything else here. Okay, no more questions. Here we go. Got a couple here on YouTube. Thoughts on Apple and Amazon 250 swing for February. Yeah, I still think Amazon goes higher. We did check back that 200. Wow. Damn. I should have went long there. I wasn't even paying attention to it. Yeah, Amazon's a long. That's going to be on the watch list this week. Use that 20-day moving average as your support. Just got to see what the volume is. I just think that going into February is going to be way too expensive in terms of Amazon. For that, just buy the buy stock. In terms of Apple, let's see it. Apple, again, off the 20-day, we're starting to see the tech stocks are holding support and they're going to go higher. I like Apple to 235, 240. I was 2 days too early. 1 week too early on Apple. We had the 230 calls last week. They hit in the money on Monday or Tuesday, excuse me. So imagine that. It's all timing in this game. It's not easy. It's not easy to predict the future while doing it on time. So in terms of Apple, that might be too expensive into February. So maybe take a look at something into more of December, and then you can probably take advantage of the upside, which I expect we get. BAC calls, and that's been just a grind. Yep, we got to get above 47. That's the strike. Again, you could see kind of the chop. Got to 47, but pulled back, and it's just been sideways. We got to see if this market action continues higher, and I believe it does. And Bank of America should go higher. I mean, it's just chopping. We're near 52-week highs, but you could see just consolidation there, and that's the premium killer, to be honest. Good morning. Good morning. Do I think you think Microsoft will wake up? Could. I think I'm just like Apple. I'm too early. I mean, we were in the money and then we just went sideways. So, just like Apple with that sense, look at this. It's just sideways. I'm still waiting for this gap fill. We would need an act of God by Friday to get to 430. Could that happen? I mean, if Nvidia starts running, Nvidia might too. I mean, if NVIDIA starts running, Microsoft might too. So, I don't want to surrender or anything, but again, I'm keeping an eye on it. Let's see. But I still think Microsoft still gets to 430, but I may have just been too early, unfortunately, which is rather normal lately. 6,500 by year end. 6,500 S&P futures? No, I don't think so. I think 6,200 would be the best that we'll get on S&P futures, my opinion. But keep in mind, I didn't think we would get to 6,000 this year either. Uh, Palo Alto Networks. They're going to do a 2-for-1 stock split. So just a heads up there. Still in the middle. I mean, we didn't even tag the 20-day. So in terms of what we're trying to do, I would say wait for 377. If that does break and there's a continual weakness, you got to get to 370. There's your first gap. The good news is if we're like Apple and we are like Amazon holding those 20-day moving averages, then Palo Alto should do the same and we'll go higher. So I'm actually bullish on Palo Alto with this stock split. I don't think 2-for-1 was really worth it. It should have been 3-for-1, unless I read that wrong. Let's see. Thomas says Nike. All right. Let's see about Nike. We didn't get this gap fill yet. The only thing I would say is see if we can get to 70, 75. But the real major trend line is right here. See that trend line? 68 bucks. That's kind of what the level you're looking for. And then you're going to start taking a look at possibly scooping it up because when it's time to buy, you won't want to. Does anyone remember when Bitcoin was 3,000? Probably not, but a lot of people did. And they were very upset when we got the pullback back in 2018, 2022. What else did we get a pullback in? I think it was 2019 as well. It's just cycles, man. It's the way it is. So I'm just looking to see if Nike finally gets to that kind of Black Friday price of 68.05, and then I think it's time to scoop it up. Maybe 65. We'll see. Noted. Thank you so much for all the. Oh, thank you for all the effort and quality work, CEO. Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you so much for being part of the YouTube and this community as well. Any other questions before I wrap it up? Oh, we just talked about Nike. Good morning, everyone. Let's take a look at GME. Yeah, I gave a little bit of a shout on GME. We played it, I believe, last week. But GME, I was looking at some volume for next week. I believe it was the 30 call. So GameStop is looking rather squeezy, guys. Get ready. This one might run to around 40. If you're about that action and you like the roller coasters, then GME needs to be on your radar. If you get a break of 30, this might run rather quickly to 40. I mean, you'd be surprised how those short squeezes run. Anyone remember back in the day, the meme craze? That's it. Snow, how high does it go? 161. We traded, no, we didn't get to trade Snowflake. I thought we were going to set that up, but we didn't. 135 is the break. We're at 161. 170 will be your next resistance, 165. So I wouldn't chase it here. It just seems like, we might just reject around there. So let's see if we can break 170. And if we do, we have a nice earnings gap from February, right around 226. So that's what I'm going over. That's what I'm looking for on Snow. Last one here. Dev is asking about Tesla. Good old Tesla. Another consolidation. See these candles? Can't do anything with these. See what the hourly does. Yeah, this is what it is. Break 362, target 400. As simple as that. That's really what you're going to go for. You're just got to have to confirm it. Going to have to confirm that break of 360, and you can go as high as 400 and 415, and then it's good night. You're going to go a lot higher. Complete breakout. Tesla's not even near all-time highs yet, but it's been on a run. All right, guys, we'll leave it there. Have a great rest of your morning. I will catch you guys on the Discord server. I think everything is already lighting up on my screen. We'll talk to you soon, team. Cheers.